Hello there, my name is Richard. The first time you see my channel, use review cartoon series, anime series, or something completely random. And today we talk about a new movie from Netflix called New God Naja Reborn. Now, I kind of recommend it if you like heavy lore, or you're not the type of person who like heavy lore, who need to be spoon-fed everything. Yeah, this is especially not for you. But you like me, you like something a little bit of heavy lore, something to grab your attention. I kind of recommend it. It's not a bad movie. It's in fact all three acts work except for the final third. That ironically, that's all the animation budget went through the third act. But the third act still kind of delivers. The movie has flaws, but everything just sort of works. Now, to describe the film, I have to say, sort of kind of like completely inspired by Final Fantasy, mixed with the Journey to the West storylines, but mixed with other influence like JoJo Bizarre Adventure or Max Fury World sort of situations that make this whole movie a very interesting view because there's so many different things pulling from it. It just works. Especially our main character, Lee, who is basically, how to describe him, like Cloud from Final Fantasy, but mixed with Zack for Saved by the Bell. Thinking those two characters, mix them in, put them in the blender, you have Lee. In fact, he actually stops everything, looks straight in the camera, and talks to you for a few seconds. He does that about maybe 3 to 4 times. I kind of wish he does it a little bit more, just give that sort of charm and wink and a nod. But besides that, that's basically his character arc. Now, add that to the Naja god of Journey to the West. If you know nothing about Naja, don't worry, the movie does explain it, but it's one of those things that if you know the lore about Naja, you get more enjoyment out of it, but you didn't. Let me explain it in the smallest way possible. Basically, Naja is basically known as this little kid who has anger issues, but he has this sort of godlike power because he is a god. But every time he was born, he always had this sort of beef with the Dragon King, and his Dragon King always trying to kill him or not try to kill him back and forth. That's why Naja is sort of well known to be this sort of destructive god type of god because everything he touches or talks to sort of falls apart. So he did sort of given sort of this bad omen type of guy, someone you don't want to mess with or even talk to because something bad always happens. And that is sort of interesting because they focus on this character called Lee, who is a reincarnate of Naja. He has a little bit of memory, but he doesn't really care because Lee is his own person. But only problem is he has the power of Naja with him. In fact, Naja reappears this sort of JoJo type of character behind him, who really doesn't talk to him. But Lee trying to talk to Naja to see what you're gonna do. You're gonna help me, not help me, what? But you like Lee because he's sort of in the middle of his sort of development as a person. Like the movie, Lee joins a gang to help out the town because the major corporation stole all the water they have. Now the corporation trying to resell all the water back to the people just because they can. And that's what I mean, the sort of developing Lee in the movie because he tries to say, oh, that's bad, I need to interfere, but once more, he has anger issues. You know, on top of that, he's still sort of figuring out what to do the right thing in that situation. On top of it, but his father judging him, what you're doing is wrong, you should have a simple life, and all this sort of growing up sort of deal. Now, to add more problems to Lee, now he had to deal all the problems Naja did in the past because other gods want vengeance, want punishment for Naja. But the problem is, Lee is Lee, Naja is Naja. They are complete different characters, but because he's reincarnating, he has Naja inside him. Now he had to deal all the problems that Naja did, and Lee trying to explain it to the other gods, the other demons, like, yeah, look, your beast is with him, not with me. Come on, can you leave me alone? Let me do my own thing. But once more, he has no choice. He had to know how to use the powers. The top of this, he tried to talk to Naja because he's his side with him. He was trying to see what he want to do, but when Naja doesn't respond, he always quiet. So you can see Lee sort of dealing with so many things, he doesn't know what to do. And I think that's the most interesting thing about this movie, especially with the Dragon King who wants to kill Naja because he really wants to defend his son. Because last time he faced him, he basically damaged him, almost killed him. So he was afraid of him, he does it again because it's pre predestined. Every god, every type of god has a sort of destiny how they will die. You know the lore, you know the situation, you know how they end up. And I thought that's sort of fascinating because Dragon King doesn't want to do nothing with Nezha, or Nezha want to do nothing with the Dragon King. Especially all the other gods who have basically the same problem. Sort of wondering, should I remove myself or stay this human form and just wait till this body dies? Because they really don't want to continue the same thing over and over again. And I think that's basically the most fascinating things about this film. Especially how the small moments, how different type of gods talk to them. Like, you really want to do this, you just ignore it, but at the same time you can't because the certain past with the things you do sort of come up again, and you try and figure out, should I interfere, should I let go? And that sort of conversation just intrigues me so much to see what you do. But other guys do things what they're supposed to do because they know if they don't start it, but it's still gotta happen, even they just decide to avoid it, and most possible someone that they care about will be punished. So this sort of interesting dilemma is just sort of fascinating, especially how the Dragon King who want to kill Nezha, the things he did to him, but said that he can ignore him. But once more, everything is predestined. It happened before, it will happen again. So the question is, what you can do about it? Well, the Dragon King decided just to kill Nezha every single time he gets the chance, before Nezha get his memory, before he gets his power. And that's why every time he sees someone who have Nezha tendencies, he automatically kills. But it doesn't really help if his Dragon King's son is a sort of a brat who wants everything. He always starts fights, so it's sort of kind of counterproductive, in other words. But once more, everything is predestined. So if they don't try to avoid it, someone will start it. Doesn't matter what. And I think that's why this movie is so interesting. Of course, the writing is not the best, or some of the directions sometimes sort of, yeah, I kind of wish they did that. But besides that, I enjoyed. Especially, I found out this movie is a kind of like John to West sort of cinematic universe, and this is basically the third installment of everything, and I'm kind of excited. In fact, I want to see the other films I missed just to see how everything sort of connected and understand all the other gods' lore and how they sort of predestined to kill each other. Basically, I mean, I enjoyed this film. I don't know, you enjoy it? Do you hate it? Do you think it was too boring? Or you excited through the new sequel that's coming up in the other films? Tell me down below, let me know. I got really nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.